Normal larger text size very large, as Australia's relations with China faltered in first months of the COVID-19 outbreak. Then Prime Minister Scott Morrison has ordered a review of what to do about increasingly popular video sharing app TikTok. It was July 2020, and Donald Trump was a few weeks away from his attempt to use his executive power awkwardly to force TikTok's parent company, Beijing-based ByteDance, sell the app over concerns about the misuse of users' private information. Morrison's instinct was to do something like ban it on government-issued phones and computers. But a few months later, Australian security agencies came back to the Prime Minister with clear advice. There was no national security justification for TikTok, known for its best feel-good viral dance and lip-syncing videos. Later in year, Joe Biden won presidential election and shelved Trump's plan to force owner of TikTok to divest from entity, which would likely face a series of legal hurdles. Not much has happened on the regulatory front for almost 2 years, as the app continues to grow in popularity. It is estimated that 7 million Australians currently use TikTok every month. In US, the app has 150 million users, which is almost half of total population. Things started to change last year when a series of articles began appearing on BuzzFeed revealing that US user data was available and accessed by ByteDance employees in China, contrary to what the company had insisted for years. A month later, similar statements began to surface in Australia. In response to a question from the opposition cybersecurity spokesman, James Patterson, TikTok Australia confirmed that Australian user data is also available in mainland China. ByteDance senior executives were enraged by the reports in BuzzFeed and believed that insiders had leaked sensitive information. Jamal Bowman, a New York Democrat, speaks outside the US Capitol to defend TikTok, which has 150 million US users. Bloomberg ByteDance Internal Audit and Risk Control Department, a Beijing-based unit responsible for conducting investigations into potential employee misconduct, began investigating the leaks. But it didn't find anything on their system or device. It then surpassed it in a big way. The unit started using TikTok accounts to track the physical movements of American journalists via their IP addresses. The aim was to detect the leak by matching their location with that of the journalists. This operation was also leaked to Forbes. The company had to fire TikTok's chief internal auditor, Chris Lepetak, and 2 other employees in the US-China. Before these revelations were made public, intelligence agencies in Australia, United States, and other Five Eyes had already begun to change their stance on the security concerns posed by app. This was informed by an increasing amount of intelligence that showed Chinese Communist Party figures were placed in senior positions at ByteDance. In addition to collecting data, there was now concern that the Chinese government could use TikTok as a powerful propaganda tool to censor information and promote disinformation on the platform. Domestic concerns and public pressure prompted Home Secretary Claire O'Neill in September order her department to conduct a review of what to do about TikTok and other social media companies located in authoritarian states. After this process, the government realized that Australia should ban the app's use on federal government devices. This later left wider scrutiny, and Attorney General Mark Dreyfus is expected to announce the public service ban on TikTok in a few days. The decision has already been discussed in Cabinet, but last week's deliberations on the presentation of SES to Parliament delayed announcement. Australia will follow other Five Eyes security partners such as the US, UK, New Zealand and Canada, all of which have announced similar bans. The Biden administration has specifically warned TikTok that it is ready to go much further and completely ban the app in the US unless it is sold to a new owner outside of China. Patterson, who has been calling a ban for more than 6 months, says he is truly surprised why it has taken so long Albanian government to take the first and most fundamental step to address serious national security risks posed by TikTok. Banning it from government apparatus, as our closest allies do, is the lightest fruition, says Patterson, who chairs a Senate investigation into foreign interference via social media. If they can't even do that right away, I'm very concerned about their ability to tackle the much more complex challenge of protecting millions of other Australians in practice. The broader 6-month review, also briefed by the Australian Signals Directorate within the Defence, was given to O'Neill in recent days. It is not only concerned with how to protect the private information of Australians, but also looks at the potential for Beijing to use TikTok to promote disinformation in Australia. TikTok's Australian Managing Director, Lee Hunter, a former YouTube and Google executive, says he is fed up with the attention paid to the app and its lack of access to key government decision makers. "We're a hot topic right now, we're getting a lot of attention, but the truth is, we're being featured unfairly," he says. TikTok does not operate in China, our headquarters are in Singapore and Los Angeles. Australian user data is held in the USA, Singapore. "We've worked really hard to protect Australian user data." Lee Hunter, General Manager of TikTok Australia, said the app is in the middle of a geopolitical persecution. James Brickwood, "We see a lot of accusations around us that there is a potential national security risk, and it's about perceived links to China and the CCP, which is absolutely untrue.